Hey everyone, TimaeuSS here, and welcome to another Ash Echoes video. And yes, we've got Scarlet. Now, this video is going to be asking the question, should you be pulling for Scarlet? So let's take a look, because yes, indeed, as you can see, I've pulled for her. I got quite lucky on my pulls as well. Do check out my Scarlet pull video if you haven't seen it already. But today, we will be taking a look at Scarlet and also the Pride 1 breakdown of should you pull Scarlet. Now, if you're looking for a Scarlet guide, I will have that as well. But in this video, it's just going over the character and whether or not you should be pulling for her. Now, first of all, let's take a look at the banner, okay? Because the duration actually matters. Now, this is going to last for about 12 days, as this is a 14-day banner. So it's almost been a day over. Now, we do have the second character coming up as well in this big patch, which will start, I believe, a week later, lasting for another 2 weeks. So it should be a 3-week patch total or a month patch total. I forget, but in my previous video, I do talk about it. Anyhow, Scarlet's banner is going to be 2 weeks. And as you can see, she is a new wind type DPS character, okay? Has a knockback and interception as part of this as well. And she absolutely is the key to the wind team at the moment, because we don't have the best DPS prior to her release, right? If you take a look at the characters that were available prior to Scarlet's release, if you wanted to play Wind, you essentially had Azusa and then Felicio, right? And then you can run your tank in Laurel, and then the healer for the Wind team, which I don't have on this account, Zoldwin. But with the release of Scarlet, and my goodness, the art looks absolutely insane. If I can bring it up, I mean, just look at that. I mean, this should already tell you that she is a must pull. But with the release of Scarlet, you can essentially sub off, I believe, looking at some of the recommendations, you can already sub off characters such as Felicio, or if you don't have Felicio, you can sub off Azusa as well to run the Scarlet team. But there are also other teams as well that you can run, because she is so insane mechanical wise, right? So we'll talk about it in the guide. But should you be pulling for Scarlet? Honestly, in my really fair opinion, and not biased at all, because the character design, I think so, because she does open a quite variety of team building aspects. And I'll just quickly show you guys some of the team comp recommendation, which I'll cover as well in the team guides. But you can see it's not just a one-size-win-fit-all. You have your offensive, defensive pursuit team, and of course the main team we talked about. But yes, there are lots of ways to build a Scarlet team, which I'll go over in the guide once again. But overall, as our first post-launch rate-up character, she is definitely worth it, right? Because the second character after this, a lot of people will be skipping just due to the fact that he is a husbando character, especially the viewers for my channel. So we are safe for the next little bit. So Scarlet is not a bad character to go over and spend your resources on. And looking at, you know, if you went through the early reroll process with Singing plus Luke for either the physical team, or if you didn't, you ran the ice team with Begonia and Ivana, it's not bad to pick up Scarlet as well if you want to transition, right? Because there is a Laurel team as well. If you watch my previous video with Laurel plus Freda, these are like the two cores, right? The tank as well as the support. You can technically put Scarlet there and put another Wind DPS who is gonna be on her banner. That's the key part. If we open up her banner, you can see that both there we go, let's just scroll down. Both Felicio and Azusa are going to be right on the rate up for the 5 stars. And in my poll video, we went over the two characters as we pulled both of them on the rate up. So you'll get, at least in my honest opinion, one, unless you luck sack and get her off of a single multi, but you should at least get one of the two on your way, if not both, or even with multiple copies, on your way to pulling a Scarlet. So not a bad pickup, especially if you have some of the other key components as well, in terms of having Freda the support, Laurel the tank, or even Longqing if you have her. So yeah, I think it's a really good addition to the team. And let's take a look at the pros and cons and the reviews from Pride 1. Keynote, guys, if you want to check all of the written part in detail, do hit up their site, okay? Make sure you check out their site. The site person who's responsible for the guides have asked me, guys, click on the site, because I have lots of information there. And don't just look at the tier list, but the reviews are written in detail. So I'll have a link down below so you guys can check that out. But anyhow, their review of Scarlet, of course, is going to be, like I said, the main carry of the Wind team, and the unique capability of acting as a pseudo tank with the second skill, Relentless Pursuit. She allows the team to bring extra DPS or buffer. So basically, in the team recommendations, we saw that you can run as a pseudo tank and then just run more supports on site. So definitely a viable option. Now, in terms of the pros and cons, because the skills I'll go over in greater detail in the separate guide video, but just know that she is able to be self-reliant, okay, and as an anti-air unit who can reduce enemy damage reduction. That just sounds absolutely fantastic. With Berry Pen on the C skill, and passive increases her attack speed, and with the uptime of 50%, that's absolutely massive, and still remains even over on CN as one of the best carries as for the Echo Hunt competitive mode. So that is really awesome to see. Now, in terms of her downside, they've said that despite being versatile, having her in a Wind team is going to enable her full potential. Okay, if you want to get the most out of Scarlet. And she either is going to be really good against her bosses, or it's going to be struggling a bit. So there's a bit of a no in between aspect to her. And the optimal build can be a bit expensive because you need 2 SSR traces. And you can hear Scarlet talking in the background in the homepage. The 2 SSR traces here are going to be Blood Luria Secret and Dusk Radiance. Okay, so if I open my SSR traces, I don't think I have either of them. Yeah, I don't. Now, looking at the polls, you can see that if you go into the memory traces, okay, we have the reunion and going off course, which are not going to be the 2 SSR traces talked about here. If you look at the selectors, I believe they are, I'm trying to find which one, this one's allergy. Yeah, this is the Blood Ruvia Secret. This is one of them. So yeah, it's not ideal in terms of requiring some of the SSR traces specifically to optimize her, but that's only if you want to get the best performance out of her. Because remember, her best performance in a Wind team and with the optimal SSR traces, but she can really function so well already as a pseudo DPS sub tank, right? So by filling that role, who is currently being filled by essentially Laurel at the moment, she can supplement to Laurel or just replace her in some of the Wind teams, which is allowing you to have a lot of room for team optimization. So I think this is not a bad way of looking at the character, and similar to how Laurel is able to fit in most team compositions and just slot her in. If you need a tank, you can kind of have Scarlet and a sub DPS that can do quite a lot of decent damage, bring utility to the team if survivability is not going to be the most important factor. So that's another way to consider whether or not you should be pulling for Scarlet. In my honest opinion, I love the character design. I think it's really awesome. And the art is very nice. 3D model with the motorcycle is very cool as well. Yeah, so must pull in my opinion. As long as you got some pulls saved up for some of the crazy characters coming up in the next few patches. Alright, anyhow, thank you so much guys once again for watching this video. It's TimaeuSS here, and the next one should be the Scarlet guide as we dive deeper into the skills as well as the team building aspect of her, and take a look at how she is going to be able to perform overall. Anyhow, see you guys in the next one. Goodbye now.